powerful stories of Bay Area pride from the Bay Area's local news station. This is KRON4's Pride Special.
Welcome to KRON4's 2025 Celebration of Pride. I'm John Schrabel.
And I'm Rob Nesbitt. It's certainly been a year of pride, but it's also been one of prejudice.
For decades, the Bay Area has welcomed the trans community with open arms. But today's political climate has many in the community feeling especially vulnerable.
That's why more and more people are coming to San Francisco for their gender-affirming care.
While Pride in 2025 kicks off, trans people have become the focus of several executive orders. President Trump has signed off on banning them from girls' sports, the U.S. military, and ended all federal funding of transgender-related health care for minors.
This is my sacred space.
Kiki Lopez moved to San Francisco from the Philippines 3 years ago, ready to live as her authentic self, a trans woman, something she did not feel safe doing in her home country.
There's a difference with tolerance and also making sure that the trans community is protected legally, because there are no laws or rules or even healthcare regulations protecting the dolls, the trans women or the trans men.
She says in the Philippines, the only way she would be able to get hormones to start her transition was on the black market. In San Francisco, the 34-year-old was able to get help through the San Francisco AIDS Foundation with her gender-affirming care.
When I stepped my foot here, especially when I was still on the airport, I was like, you know what? I'm home. That's what I really felt.
She's not alone. There are around 800 trans people who utilize the services at the Magnet Clinic, overseen by the San Francisco AIDS Foundation. Nurse practitioner Michael Tran says many of his clients travel to California to get help with their transition.
Seeing an uptick in transgender clients coming in from out of state as well as from other parts of California. In many areas, there are limiting, if not outright banning, gender-affirming care.
There are 27 states that have passed bans on gender-affirming care for trans children, including medication and surgery. According to the Human Rights Foundation, nearly 120,000 teens identify as trans in those states. The Supreme Court ruled this month to uphold Tennessee's ban on gender-affirming care for minors. Tran says there are already implications for both children and adults.
I've had patients say, my parents disown me, I don't know where to go now.
It's mostly about misinformation. Make a big fuss or issue out of something that they don't really understand.
Lopez says in the Bay Area, the support is evident. From everyday encounters with strangers on the sidewalk to medical appointments with healthcare providers. That does not mean she hasn't encountered transphobia, but it doesn't get the best of her.
It's scary, but that's what they want you to feel scared and not do anything about it. But to me, when they incite fear, that also incites bravery from me.
She certainly represents the resilience of the Bay Area.
And such a kind person, too. Well, next up, it's a small East Bay city that's big on pride. And their outsized LGBTQ plus community is well represented by their city council representatives.
Our Philippe Chagall continues our coverage from El Cerrito.
For some, the city of El Cerrito is merely a few stops on a BART map, but it is so much more when you hit the streets. A Bayside family-friendly suburb, but not without backbone. Homeowners openly pushing progressive politics, a reflection of its historically gay and lesbian majority city council.
El Cerrito has always been on the top 10 list when it comes to same-sex couples.
For most cities, boasting an extensive LGBTQ+ section in its public library is transcendent enough, and it is tough to find a larger collection of pride-themed literature at an East Bay public library than this.
Young adult teen books.
But the history that sets El Cerrito apart from others is still in the hands of its elected leaders.
As more people understand who we are as a city, that we do have an LGBTQ majority plus on our council, they're more willing to come out and really just embrace what we're doing here as a city.
Mayor Pro Tem Gabriel Quinto was elected to El Cerrito's city council in 2014, eventually becoming the city's first openly gay Filipino-American mayor.
When I turned 18, I graduated here from El Cerrito. I was out already, so I had no problem with that. I've always been out.
When he took office, he says the city became the first in Contra Costa County to raise a pride flag.
We've done that every year since.
In May, by proclamation, the city officially recognized June as Pride Month.
This proclamation is not a final word, it's a promise to keep building a city where liberation isn't just celebrated in June, but lived every day of the year.
Carolyn Weisinger joined the city council in 2022, and this year is making state history, becoming the first Black open lesbian to serve as mayor.
I just love being able to visibly show that El Cerrito is a city that supports all.
Lisa Motoyama was elected in 2020. William Katsanis and Rebecca Saltzman took office in December. Saltzman is a mother raising a child with her wife.
We might all be out, but we have different things that we're focused on, and we do disagree. We sometimes vote differently, or we have robust discussions before we all vote the same way, and that is good to have a diversity of opinions.
Katsanis is an adjunct professor at the University of San Francisco, raised an adopted son, and lives with his husband.
It's a particularly divisive time in our history, and I think that El Cerrito serves as a small example that we can be different, that we don't have to be as divisive, we can be welcoming, that being welcoming and inclusive strengthens us as a culture, as a country, as a community.
With the elections of Saltzman and Katsanis, the total number of gay and lesbian members on the council stands at 4, making El Cerrito the third city in the state's history with an LGBTQ+ majority council behind Palm Springs and West Hollywood.
We all come together for El Cerrito. So that's the commonality. We love this town.
Motoyama is the lone straight council member.
We have an African-American woman, me, I'm Asian. We have Gabe Quinto, he's one of the first Filipino mayors of the city. You know, we have a white guy, a white woman. I think we have a pretty broad spectrum of everybody that way.
Unique and unified about being different, and that's okay. In El Cerrito, Philippe Jagal, KRON4 News.
Behind this colorful flag is a colorful person, newly memorialized in the North Bay. We'll take you there after the break. It's a symbol recognized around the world, but it was created right here in the Bay Area.
And the man behind the flag has inspired a new piece of art recently revealed in Napa. KRON4's Joey Horta shows us.
The iconic rainbow flag, a symbol of hope, a reminder of the ongoing battle for acceptance and equality.
There was a need for something to put out to everyone, to say we are just like everybody else.
The flag would debut at the San Francisco Gay Freedom Parade in June of 1978 at the request of gay rights icon Harvey Milk to show unity at a turbulent time.
We were still struggling. We were still being beaten up everywhere. That was horrible. The violence, the hatred. The Pride Parade was a way for us to feel good about ourselves finally.
The creative mind behind the eye-catching fabric, artist Gilbert Baker. A new bronze sculpture now immortalizes Baker for his contribution years after his death, sharing a park bench with his departed friends, Dr. Jerry Goldstein and Tom Taylor, in a warm embrace crafted by artist Dina Angelwing.
A very important message for all of us, regardless of who you are, to have compassion to other people's styles and love and celebrate love.
She felt her creation should depict a same-sex couple to live up to its name, Freedom to Love. It's now on display at the Napa Valley College Library.
I wanted to inspire some curiosity. There will be students that will come through that won't have any idea who these people on this bench are.
Tom and Jerry would make a name for themselves in San Francisco as gay activists, throwing extravagant parties to support charities. They're the namesakes of the Tom and Jerry House in Noe Valley, famous for its larger-than-life Christmas decorations.
I'm so thankful that this has ended up here and that my uncles were out. The idea that they didn't have to have this cover-up story.
But with a conservative push to ban the pride flag on government property in states like Utah, some are concerned progress is under threat.
I feel like all of our gay rights are going to get stripped all over again. And we just got to keep pushing on.
Over time, the flag would evolve, adding color, making diversity more visible, and still advocates for a more inclusive society today.
I certainly hope this generation feels safer.
A hope made possible by the contributions of those who've helped pave the way. In Napa, Joey Horta, KRON4 News.
After the break, a look at a special program for some very special kids.
From the Bay Area's local news station, this is KRON4's Pride Special.
Welcome back. Pride Month is a time for celebration, reflection, and action. In the Castro, one organization is making a powerful difference in the lives of LGBTQ+ youth.
From housing to food assistance and from education to job support, Lyric is creating a lifeline for young people facing some of life's toughest challenges.
Nestled in the heart of San Francisco's historic Castro neighborhood is a lavender-colored house. But what makes it a home are the people inside. Lyric's dedicated staff and the LGBTQ+ youth they support.
It's life-changing. They offer a space for us, a space where we feel safe, where we can decompress and unmask a little bit.
There is nothing but positivity here.
Founded in 1988, Lyric, or the acronym for Lavender Youth Recreation Center, is the second oldest and second largest queer youth organization in the U.S.
Lyric serves LGBTQ+ youth ages 10 to 24 with vital resources including housing support, health and wellness services, and legal assistance.
You name it, we're doing it.
And most importantly, young people interested in being with community, says Gael Lala Chavez, the executive director for Lyric.
Family rejection is the main thing. They're coming in here at a loss. It's as heartbreaking as it is, but also it's incredibly amazing for me to witness the resiliency, the compassion that young people have with one another.
Kai, Danny, and Soraya looked for safe, trusted adults, and they found them at Lyric. Resilience was something they had inside them, even if it took time to come through.
You gotta hold your ground, or you wanna stay strong, and you don't wanna look weak to another person, but I mean, you need help.
Soraya came to Lyric seeking housing. She's not LGBTQ, but knew it was a safe space.
I needed the help, and I had no other choice but to come out and tell my story.
Kai found more than a roof over their head through Lyric. It opened a door to living out loud as their true self.
I'm much more than just what you can define by gender. Societies throughout history have had a problem of trying to narrow gender and put big emphasis on roles.
And Danny, who is an intern at Lyric, says they were in survival mode for almost a year, and Lyric was a place to land safely.
I'm starting to feel like myself again.
It's our job to make sure that we hear what you want, what you need, what is going to keep you all safe.
In response to the growing national rhetoric targeting LGBTQ and immigrant communities, Lyric equips youth to speak up and stay safe.
We're not fools. This is America. We're supposed to promote diversity. It's very easy to give in to your depression and just not participate. But baby, don't fall into that trap. It's so easy. We need numbers out there.
Former Lyric youth, DB and Robin Abad, say the organization helped shape who they are. DB uses their voice to speak up for queer youth of color.
I am Black and I am queer. I'm both. I will never separate the two. It's just who I am.
And Abad is known as a dedicated community leader throughout the Bay Area.
The LGBTQ community here at Lyric and in San Francisco as a whole took care of me.
The Lavender Ball, one of Lyric's most celebrated events for youth, celebrates identity, house culture, and the art of voguing.
Whatever you are, that's what you are.
Joy is very important right now.
In San Francisco, Lindsay Ford, KRON4 News.
Wow, how awesome for those kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, like they taught me in school, to understand our future, we must understand our past.
Lindsay Ford here again now with a look at this giant pink symbol of pride and resistance that's adorned Twin Peaks every year for 3 decades.
You can hear the hammering. We call that the song of the pink triangle. This giant pink triangle is up here on the hill as a huge warning and reminder of what happened.
In Nazi Germany, a downward-pointing pink triangle was sewn onto the shirts of gay men in concentration camps to identify and dehumanize them. The United States Holocaust Memorial Museum estimates between 5,000 and 15,000 gay men were in concentration camps. In 1970, gay rights activists took the symbol back and reclaimed the pink triangle as a symbol of liberation.
So the 2 main goals are community building and a giant in-your-face educational tool. We want people to know where the pink triangle came from and what it means.
Patrick Carney co-founded the tradition. He says it took 800 volunteers to install the pink triangle for its 30th annual display. Longtime volunteers were in awe of the community working together.
I am joyful that so many people have embraced this, and it's part of their lives, part of their scheduling, part of their community, part of what they look forward to doing.
We're here to remember difficult parts of our past, but we're also here in joy to be with one another and be together in community.
The San Francisco Pride Band played music throughout the event.
Blessed be this pink triangle, a symbol of hate and fear, transformed into a symbol of pride and power.
This year's theme is Queer Joy.
We just have to be ourselves. Being who we are, not going back in the closet, is our own form of personal resistance. And as long as we have our own joy in life of who we are, that is resistance.
In San Francisco, Lindsay Ford, KRON4 News.
After the break, a look at the annual event that's just taken its final ride.
From the Bay Area's local news station, this is KRON4's Pride Special.
Now for one last ride.
For more than 3 decades, cyclists have been making an annual pilgrimage from San Francisco to LA, raising money for HIV/AIDS related causes.
But this year was the final AIDS Life Cycle event. Here's Sarah Stinson.
545 miles in 7 days. For more than 3 decades, thousands of cyclists have been making the annual journey from the Cow Palace to Los Angeles.
It's my first ride, so I still don't know what to expect. This is my 10th ride, and I also still don't know what to expect.
The AIDS Life Cycle has raised more than $349 million for nonprofits like the San Francisco AIDS Foundation, but after this year,
this is the last ride. It's an emotional time.
The ride is over.
I figured, all right, I have to do it now because it's going to be the last year. My partner and I decided we would do it together.
For Brett Cashin, this last ride also his first. Heading into the fundraiser with little to no training.
But I didn't realize how big the mental game would be of just getting on your bike at 6 o'clock in the morning and getting into camp at close to 7 at night. And, I've never spent that much time on my bike.
With Cashin digging deep, remembering his reasons for pedaling on.
And especially with the current climate of what's going on right now and, funding being cut from essential sources like that for people in our community. And I think during this time more than ever, it's nice to see everyone come together and support each other, and doing it during Pride Month kind of is the icing on the cake.
As with any fundraiser of this size, it's the volunteers who make it happen.
Love you.
667 roadies making this year's trip, doling out drinks and carrying the bikers' bags.
Really special. These people gave a whole week of their life, and they were up before us every morning and up later than us.
In Ventura on day 6, everyone takes a break from the festivities to remember the reason behind the ride.
So we ride every mile we can. We ride for those who can't.
And honor the lives lost from HIV/AIDS.
Just remembering and kind of coming together as a community, and yeah, it was really pretty special.
The next day, SF AIDS Foundation CEO Tyler Termier on hand to wrap things up.
We are on day 7. We are about to have our final ride out on our final AIDS life cycle.
The annual event that began at the height of the AIDS epidemic, ending amidst the lingering effects of the coronavirus pandemic. But Termier says the mission will continue.
We'll be doing a 3-day cycling event starting in 2026 that will leave from San Francisco and head up towards Guerneville, including a wine country loop, and then back here towards San Francisco.
With the annual trek south remembered fondly by all.
This community's meant everything to me for the last 16 years and helped me become the man I am today.
You know, it's just a sense of community and a sense of, you know, we're stronger together.
I'm Sarah Stinson reporting.
I miss everyone. I'm gonna miss how much this is given.
KRON4 News.
Well, that's it for this year's Pride Special.
We believe storytelling strengthens community bonds, and so it's been our honor to share these stories with you.
And don't stop writing and sharing your own stories. We'll see you around right here on KRON4.